My name is Amin. Never mind. I'm not supposed to say it. My topic today is what reforms can be introduced to modernize the voting system to increase participation and ensure fair representation in the United States government. Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to be talking to you about fair representation and voting in the United States. Right now, nearly half of all eligible voters do not vote in major elections. For minor elections or small elections, like congressional elections, that number is even less. And for local elections, it is barely even there. This is a major problem. People do not trust their government. And that trust means that people gain a sense of hopelessness in their government. They do not trust. Okay? And that trust is essential for a good and well-functioning society. The effect of this mistrust and this lack of representation and this lack of voting is that politicians stay in power for many, many years. Currently in the Congress, especially in the House, our leaders have been in power for decades. This leads to stale ideas. People do not have new ideas, and that means the country does not progress. So, by increasing participation in voting and having more fair representation, we can have a more active government that has new ideas, that wants to try new things, that can lead to change, because I know we can all agree that the current society right now is not what we want it to be. There are changes that we want to have. And by increasing representation, we can make those changes a reality. So, the first way we can do this is making voting mandatory. Now, this might seem like a radical idea, but it is not. Right now in Australia, voting is mandatory, and it is enforced by a $5 fine. $5, that's it. That is not a major fine. It is not life-breaking, right? It will not put you in debt, but it helps people want to vote. It's a reminder that you are a trusted member of society. We value you. We want you to participate. And by voting, you are helping us. Okay? That tells people that they should vote. Now in Australia, this is not a somber moment where, oh, I have to pay my election now because I don't want to vote. It's not like that. It is an enjoyable moment. People go there, they go to the voting stands, and they have barbecues. They go for dinner and vote at the same time. It's not a somber moment where you have to line up. No, it's fun. People want to vote. They want to participate. And that's what leads to trust in the government. That's why it's so important for people to participate in their government. Now, the second way we can make voting participation increase is by making it more accessible. Right now in the United States, there are multiple measures of people trying to limit the accessibility of education. For example, or accessibility of voting. For example, one of those is putting them on days you have to go to work. When you're finished with a long day of work, you don't want to stand in line for hours to vote. People don't want to vote if they have to go out of their way to find the nearest voting poll. So by making the voting process more streamlined, by making it easier for people to vote, it encourages them to do so. By having elections on break days, on weekends, when people are able to vote and it's easier for them to go, they will participate. And that participation is key for the effects that I highlighted before. Now, the third way that I suggest for how we can increase participation is by making the voting process more streamlined. We remember how it happened last presidential election. It got busy. There were numerous accusations of malpractice and misuse of election papers, specifically mail-in ballots. All right? That makes people lose trust in their government. We talked about this. Trust is at such a low level right now for the government. People don't want to participate. That's a crucial problem. All right? So by making it easier for people to vote, making people trust the election process, you will have a stronger government. Now, how do you do that? All right, number one, where do we have our elections? It's at schools. I'm sure many of you kids remember. You're coming to school, and one day they said, all right, guys, today you're not coming to school. We're going to do an election here. Right? They quickly turn the school into an election place and quickly turn it back. It's not very well. All right? There's not very much funding that goes into our elections. That just shows us we don't care about our elections. And if we don't care about our elections, they will not run properly. We need to make sure that voting places have enough money, or that polling places have enough money to run their elections. And also, we need to make sure that we hire, either through volunteers or actually through paying them, people who are going to run our elections properly. All right? That is one of the crucial aspects. When there's enough people who are running elections, when it's easier to come to elections, people want to vote. And I've highlighted that before, why it is so crucial that people vote. Now, you should remember this. Voting is not a chore. It's not something that you have to do, or that's like a bad thing, all right? Voting is an honor. It's a privilege. It's a duty on every single one of us, all right? It's you participating in the government. This is not a one-man show where mysterious people in black suits manage everything. That's you, all right? That's your government. You manage it, and voting is how you manage it. And by not voting, you are leaving it off to people with more power than you. Leaving it off to people that you cannot trust. All right? If you ever feel like there are people here that are too powerful, we can't do anything about it, right? They have more money, they have more representation, we can't change anything, the power is on their side. Right? That doesn't happen if you vote. That does not happen if you vote. By voting, you are taking power back to the people. With these changes, the United States can make a more trusted and fair election, a more trusted and fair government. And that by doing that, we can have a government that we are all proud of. Thank you very much.